Take it slow, take it easy on me. Shed some light, shed your light on me, please. Take it slow, take it easy on me. Shed some light. My Moon, My Man is most definitely going to be in my Spotify Wrapped. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. And yes, I'm envisioning the montage in my head as the song plays on loop, on loop, on loop, on loop, on loop. But I swear to God, I'm not talking about heated rivalries today. I'm not talking about heated rivalries today. I'm not. Welcome to No One Listens to Kendall, the show where I talk like no one's listening. My name is Kendall. I'm going to get my Hudson Williams this, that, and the third out of the way. That video of him smoking that cigarette in the Armani. And that's really all I have to say on the matter, because we're moving on today. We're moving on. I want to talk about the pit today, which we so affectionately call the pit, because I finna be in the pit.
I was like, no, like, I finna be in the pit.
And that whole situation is made funnier by the fact that she is referring to Harry Styles, of all people, a person with whom I have a deep, long-seated history. I finna be in the pit in reference to Harry Styles. It's very apt that the pit is being referred to as the pit, affectionately, because Harry Styles announced an album. I love Harry Styles. I was looking at how many Harry Styles songs I have saved, and I was like, I'm kind of a fan down. His first project, self-titled HS1, really led me down this path. The whole One Direction craze kind of skipped over me, like jumped over me just barely, because I was too busy being concerned with 21 Pilots and Halsey and Shawn Mendes to really take that in as what it was. It kind of just jumped over me. I've since gone back and listened to One Direction music, and I would have loved it then, but I wasn't there. But when Harry went solo, and obviously the music video for Sign of the Times went viral, and then I went and listened to the entire project, and I was absolutely enamored. Have you listened to Ever Since New York recently? Use your words, because there's no antidote. Have you listened to From the Dining Table recently? I know y'all have, because y'all been making heated rivalry edits with From the Dining Table. Like, they hit the motherfucking Pentagon. Why would you do... And then he follows it up with Fine Line. Fine Line as your sophomore album is crazy. Lights Up as a lead single is crazy. I love that music video as well. I feel like the music video really, really beautifully encapsulates the feeling I get listening to Lights Up. It is a declaration of freedom and liberty, self-expression that I really love. I love Lights Up. And I love a weird song like that. Like the scream that bleeds into the chorus. It's a very like divergent scream into step into the light. So bright sometimes. Like, yeah, I'm not ever going back. And then you have To Be So Lonely, Adore You, Watermelon Sugar, Golden. That music video and the song makes me cry. I don't know what to tell you. You're so golden. Like, I would love to live in a maritime, seaside, harbor city with magical fish boy Harry Styles. Take me to there. I would like to go there. And I'm just Ponyo. In this scenario, I am just Ponyo. I'm a fish girl to Harry Styles' fish boy. That man likes being a fish. Because music for a sushi restaurant. Music for a sushi restaurant. Music for a sushi restaurant. Music for whatever you want. Right. I feel like Harry's House is not my favorite out of the three he's released, but I did not dislike it by any means. Like, I definitely still have half of the album saved. And I always say a good barometer for me is if I save 4 songs off your album, I consider that a success. If I save 4 songs, like that's 4 songs that I like out of a potential 10. In this day and age where attention is currency, capturing your attention is currency. If you can get me to listen to 4 songs, I consider that a success. So half of Harry's House is good for me. Daylight Talking Late night daylight talking. I'm trying to film after work and it's not going well. I can't form sentences or thoughts. And my kids weren't even bad today. They were actually pretty chill in the grand scheme of things. God, except for my third period. They just don't know how to shut up. But that was a little bratty. Late night talking, smash. Cinema is my favorite on Harry's House. That's a sexy ass song. You pop when we get intimate. Yeah. Yeah. You pop when we get intimate. Ooh, you got the cinema. You got the cinema. I bring the pop to the cinema. You pop when we get intimate. All I could think that song is about Olivia Wilde, but we can't really go there. I say all of that to say I'm going to talk about the pit. I have notes as per usual, but I'm just, oh my God. I got to get through all the other stuff first. So I talked about Hudson Williams, Connor's story looking gorgeous, beautiful, amazing. And if he's with Francois, y'all got to leave him alone because he got in there. He got in there, and I couldn't be more proud because if I thought for a half a second that Francois Arnault was picking up what I was putting down in any sense of the word, in any sense of the expression, I would also be in there. Like, take me to there, take me through there, take me through there. Call back to last week. I'm running through your nigga's house like the Tomb Raider. My sister did not know that was the opening lyrics to Freak Nasty. I'm like, have you been reading your Megalations? Have you been reading the Meg the Stallion Bible? Like, that line fundamentally changed who I am. There's a bunch of Megan the Stallion lines that have changed that have changed the course of my thoughts. Top of mind being, I'm running through your nigga's house like the Tomb Raider. I've also been listening to Budget by Megan the Stallion and Lotto, which I was there before it was trending on TikTok. Whatever. But Lotto starting her verse with, Lotto don't do budgets. Talk shit like Joe Budden.
Hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down.
I'm gonna give it another try. Lotto don't do budgets. Talk shit like Joe Budden. Trips y'all can't pronounce. Jits. So who can't? I'm like, fuck it. Beat a whole face. Don't need no brushes. Double D's in my brassiere. Face is top tier. First to like my story, but don't like me, bitch is weird. Pull up Bentley. Drop 450 to make my car match with my feelings. Bitch, stop capping. That shit ain't exclusive. Y'all in the A buying shit from them boosters. Poorly rapping Megan the Stallion lyrics is not what I need to be doing right now. But alas. Tell a hater, fuck you. They keep coming telling me these bitches mad. What's new? All this ice around my neck got me feeling too cool. It was banging. He beat that. Red. Sue woo. Middle finger out the roof. Yeah, my sister not knowing that's the opening lyrics to Freak Nasty is crazy. I'm running through your nigga's house like the Tomb Raider. You got a pass around nigga, he a hot potato. That being me talking about how I think Connor's story and Francois are a cute couple is crazy. How did we? Whoa. No, but get in there, Connor. Get in there. Get in there, Francois. Get in there. Get in there. I hope they're having fun. And I would like pictures together, editorials together. Please. And Club Chalamet, get your thorny talons out of Connor Story's energetic mass. Like, wherever that mass of energy is being carried around, Club Chalamet is trying to get her talons in there. You have to let go. And maybe I have my qualms because she's an older Black woman and I don't like to see y'all whack her up and down the timeline, but she is a little strange. Well, I would like for her to stay on Timothy Howell Chalamet because that makes more sense energetically. But she just can't get past the Kylie of it all. And I understand. I feel like I just finally accepted that they're together because that just made no kind of sense in my head. But now that we're living in a post Marty Supreme world, I actually completely understand them being together now. It actually makes the most sense. And his generational run of celebrity artifice during Call Me By Your Name era is a distant memory. Oh God, I have so many random things to rant about before I get to the pit. My mom keeps sending me videos of AI babies saying, "Oh my gosh, this is what my grandbaby is going to look like." Mother, please get off of Facebook. Please stop sending me the AI children dancing or AI cats because I have a cat and I'm supposed to be able to relate to that, I guess. Also because I'm also taking it as a threat. I'm taking it. I also got Josie a cat tunnel. I'm taking it as a threat because that means you want me to have children in the near future. And I think the cutoff is going to be 30. And I was looking up IVF. I was looking up IVF because I do want to have a child eventually. But I'm 23 and I haven't been in a serious keyword serious because that is the one thing these men are not. And I can't seem to hold down a woman either. So we're just striking out on all fronts. But the cutoff is most definitely going to be at 30 years of age. I was looking at IVF. I do have Pinterest boards of what my nursery would look like. I do have dreams of my daughter. Then I have to wake up and mourn my daughter in the morning, realizing she doesn't exist and never did. And you know what? I'm also becoming more open to the idea of having a son. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I think I'd be able to make do. And also, before I get to the pit, life is strange. Life is strange. We're back. I try not to put my baby in the room, but the tunnel she's having a field day with because it's new and exciting. And she needed it, like a little interactive play. Life is strange. I have a very deep and personal history with Life is Strange. I actually, after I do this pit video, I might do a Life is Strange video next because it is that serious. But they announced Life is Strange reunion after the flop that was Life is Strange Double Exposure. Now, here's my thing. I actually think Double Exposure had a lot of potential. But I think I would have rather played as Safi. Play as Safi first. And then, as we're going through her shape-shifting shenanigans with this reunion game, then we go back to Max, and then we get the double timeline or the converging timelines reveal. Maybe that's what it is. Because I like that Safi is potentially a little evil. She's selfish. She's narcissistic. And we've yet to have like a selfish character with powers that we can play as. I can have my own rants about Daniel because Life is Strange 2 is my favorite game in the franchise. I think it's the most profound. I think it's the most beautifully done. I think the story and the scale of the story is insane. And the characters you meet along the way in their hero's journey-esque story, starting from tragedy and having to get from point A to B, has a very clear end goal. And there's a lot of variety in the endings that you can get as well, which makes it difficult to continue the story afterwards when you have a player choice story like this. And that's a lot of where my qualms with this new Life is Strange reunion is coming. I think they're going to try to rectify all of it with the converging timelines and the being able to jump between parallel universes, but they were barely able to handle that in Double Exposure. So now you want me to believe that you're going to be able to handle it with the Bay versus Bay ending, sacrificing Chloe versus sacrificing Arcadia Bay, and Chloe is going to somehow come back and it's all going to be wrapped up in a neat bow with no plot holes. Damn, Before the Storm has plot holes. Rachel Amber has plot holes. And that fuck ass back talk mechanic. Why? Why am I playing as Chloe? Justice for abrasive, evil, narcissistic, self-interest seeking women. Justice for Safi. I kind of loved Safi by the end, which I know is not the popular opinion, but thought she was interesting. Okay, if you hear my baby in the back, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. But let's get into the pit, finally. Por fin. I'm just going to go character by character. If you don't know about HBO's The Pitt, it's medical drama. The first season is a 15-hour shift, and each episode is an hour of a shift in the emergency room that they so affectionately call The Pit. I like to think of it as the pits of hell. It's been rebranded as The Pit via I Finna Be in the Pit. What an egregious use of AAVE. I Finna Be in the Pit in reference to Harry Styles. I can't get over it. It's hilarious. And now with this whole halter top situation coming back up because Tana Mojo, I'm in white people's business too much. I shouldn't even know what those words mean in congruence with one another. But oh my God, what do you want? Okay, well, you're keeping the tunnel in here. Do you understand that? You can walk around and you're going to crawl in between my legs. Joe, get off between my... The pit takes place in Pittsburgh. It's an ER. That's all I got, you guys. I don't really know much outside of that. I don't know about medicine. I know the realism, the medical realism is something that's being heralded about this show. I don't want to say I don't care because I do care, but I am more interested in what we get to know about the characters in the way that they treat the patients, right? I'm gonna just go character by character and we'll just see what we got to say. Let's just go ahead and start with Robbie. So Robbie is in charge of the whole ship. I don't know the official terms for none of that. So, I don't know the difference between a senior resident, a med student. Like I can infer, but I don't know if my inferences are 100%, 100% correct. I have to stop recording after work. It's just not going well. Robbie. Now, Robbie, I have a few qualms. I got a few qualms with you. The first one being, I don't like the way you talk to Samira. I don't like the way you talk to Moanne. So I am in love with Supriya, which means I am in love with Samira. And when he called her slow mo that first time, that was raps for me. There was quite literally no redemption. There was quite literally no redemption to be had after that. But he's suicidal. He's projecting because he sees herself in her. Well, then you need to project a little less, maybe, or just because you're not kind to yourself doesn't mean you don't get to be kind to Samira. You need to actually go ahead and figure that out for yourself. And then for him to impregnate Collins, allegedly, according to fan theory, her to miscarry on the shift. And is she not in this shift for second season? Oh, 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 and Noah Wiley, you greedy bitch, because you ain't even deserve all that to begin with. You just producing yourself to have the most gorgeous love interests of all time, Hashimi. Even though you don't even want nothing to do with her right now, and then this new bed manager, what's her name? She was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. The new bed manager, Noel, you don't even know what to do with all that for real. Robbie. So Robbie does have the tendency to be a little misogynistic, but because he's right in most of the situations, it gets a little overlooked. It gets a little overlooked. And that's okay. That's okay. I just want to see Robbie be wrong one time. I just want him to be wrong. It don't have to result in somebody's death or nothing, but I just want one of the women to just to be able to say, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. But as someone with passive suicidal ideation, I do understand Robbie. Like, I get it. I get it. Like, I'm good at my job. I'm passionate about my job, but my job also makes me want to like off myself. If that's not, maybe being a teacher is not as important or high stress as the ER, but I feel like that's how I leave feeling most of the day. I'm like, man, like I'm passionate about this, but I also could go and sleep for a long time and not be completely torn up about it. You know what I mean? Next character, Victoria Gilotti. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I wasn't messing with Victoria in the first season. I was thinking she's way too judgmental. She's 20, she's juvenile, she's a Nepo baby, she's this, and that. And then I started to think about those facts about her again. She is 20, working in the ER, and competent, more than competent enough to be working in the ER. That is a developmentally stunted young woman. She went to college at 13. College at 13. Gilotti is not that bad. She's just socially stunted. She's just socially stunted. And again, because I'm always looking for myself in television, which is why I like watching television and being able to compare the neuroses of fictional characters to my own real life neuroses. Right. I'm the youngest in my department. I get carded basically every time I enter the school. Are you a student? Where are you supposed to be? Bro, I work here. I'm sorry, I will not be wearing heels every day to differentiate myself as an adult. I guess I have a baby face. It is high school, to be fair, and I am the same height as them. Whatever. I love Shabana's portrayal of Gilotti. I love her facial expressions and how reactive she is. And it's kind of difficult for her to hide her thoughts and her feelings. But I think, again, she's a very interesting character. I think it was a very interesting choice to have her be this prodigy, this like kid genius, and seeing the pressures of her mother interfere with her work. And I'm curious to see how that will develop in this second season as well. So I love Gilotti now. I've seen the light, and I am ashamed to say that I ever did not see the light. Similarly with Santos, y'all really do have like y'all have earned the "I told you so" sticker on your forehead. You really have. Because I was like, this girl's annoying. This girl's annoying. She's annoying. She's annoying. But again, we have to let women be annoying. That is real feminism. Abrasive, annoying women. And it's a coping mechanism. It's also her way of reaching out because she doesn't know how to forge these relationships in the way that she wants without leading with this humor. I wonder where it comes from. I know it's alluded to Santos having had experienced CSA, child SA, and seeing how that is coming up in her work. In the second season, it's already been alluded that Robbie was wanting her to talk to a counselor or talk to a social worker, and she's been putting it off, and then she has her suspicions about these different cases where CSA might be happening potentially, and so that's been really interesting to see how Santos is being humanized in that way. But she is just a sweetie pie. She immediately lets Whitaker live with her after discovering that he doesn't have a place to stay. And that also tells me so much about her character. She just likes to do so in a nonchalant way. She's definitely not mushy, but she has a big heart. She has a really, really, really big heart. And that's become way more apparent after having had watched the first season in its entirety and now being, oh my god, we're only 2 episodes in to the second season. We have such a long way to go. Like when it's 4th of July and nobody fuck with you for real. Like it's literally the 4th of July. It's literally the 4th of July and the new episode comes out tomorrow when I'm filming this. Um I'm pulling a two night edit in this hoe because I wanted to go back to Friday uploads and that's my fault. Gotta get back on schedule. Anyway, Santos, love. Issa, love you and love your face. Love your face. Some side character speed runs. Mateo, get him back on my screen. What do you mean he switched to night shift? That is not what the fans want to see. What do you mean he switched to night shift? That is not what the fans want to see. Obviously, there's going to be something that goes down because it's 4th of July and Ab is going to be back eventually, and my night shift folks are going to be back eventually. But that is not what the fans want to see. I'm 2 episodes in, and I have not seen Mateo. Get him back on my screen. And that's not a request; it's a demand. I also want to see Javadi freaking out around Mateo again. I miss it. I miss it. Buzzy. It was quite buzzy, and I completely understood her. That was another thing that helped me understand her. I was like, oh my gosh, this baby, which is so funny to say because Shabana is older than me in real life, of course. But she gets just so cutesy and baby and Bambi. She's so Bambi. Mateo is sweet, kind, empathetic, a looker, a looker. I feel like if I saw a nurse like that in real life, if I saw a nurse that looked like Mateo, I wouldn't be able to focus or I would be like, what is he doing here? You got to be a model, bro. He's one of those unreal kind of beauties where if he was like working in a Starbucks or something, you'd be like, what the hell are you doing here? You need to be shipped off to New York right now and doing fashion. Dana, big mama, big mama, big mama. My brain is nothing but internet videos because my screen time is too high. Y'all seen that video a lot of big mama, big mama Dana. Yeah, after getting decked in the face, she was gonna try and finish out that shift. Girl, go home. And it was crazy because of all people to punch, what was that fuck ass patient's name in the first season? I don't even remember his name. That's how inconsequential he was to everything. But you're gonna go back and punch Dana of all people. Why didn't you punch Langdon? And I like Langdon. Go punch Langdon. Langdon was really the jerk. He said, "Go ahead and sign this. If you leave, just know you are liable to have it. If you die, just sign this, knowing that you agreed to leave because you was waiting here for too long." Oh, Big Mama Dana, she really holds it down. I want to see a little bit more of her putting Robbie in his place. I loved her friendship with Collins too, so I'm also being robbed of that. Being robbed. I'm being robbed. I'm being robbed. I also am freaking out and tweaking because no one is mentioning Dr. Collins either. Where is my mother? Where is my mother? Where is my mother? I loved how Dana was being so supportive of Collins, especially going through something as traumatic as miscarrying on your shift at the ER. But we're getting to see Dana with this new friendship in Emma. Baby Emma, baby Emma. Girl, when she walked in with all that stuff clipped to her, I said, baby, go ahead and take that off. And Dana immediately just started taking everything off and putting it on the table. That was so funny. That was so funny and so cute. And then when they opened up that cast, and spoilers, trigger warning, there was maggots in the cast. You would have had to get me out of there. I wish they went all the way and did a Javadi parallel and had Emma faint. I would have loved that. Emma was going through it. Emma had to hose down a homeless man, a houseless man. Maggots in the cast, draining blood from a man's erect penis because he took too much boner medicine and couldn't get it down. Girl, I thought Whitaker had it bad in first season with all the fluids on his body, but poor baby Emma, she might have had it worse, y'all. She might have had it worse. She's a cutie pie. I'm so happy that she has been added. I love her. I love her. I love her. Speaking of Whitaker, I really am not sure where y'all got Huckleberry from. Everyone was gaslighting me in my comments. Shipping baby's first fandom. Baby, do not recite the ancient texts to me. I was there when it was written. Baby's first fandom. I know how shipping works. And then I said it was a crack ship. And they were like, crack ship means it can never happen. Y'all think they're going to make Huckleberry canon? And I'm not trying to yuck your yum. I just was confused because everybody was acting like it was canon because it was so popular. It was all the fan art I was seeing of the pit before I actually watched it and before I tapped in. Everyone's like, Huckleberry. So I was excited to see their scenes together. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see like where some of the shipping is coming from. I don't want to call y'all delusional. I don't want to call y'all ship baseless because that's just not good etiquette, but it's like kind of baseless. Just say like it's based on nothing. You just like seeing two white men together. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not yucking your yum. I just was a little confused. And I say this on the opposite side of the coin. I am a Mo Abbott shipper. So we're going to get there when I get there. But it was just some of the comments were starting to feel charged. Like you're trying to explain fandom to me. Baby. Ripe age of 11 on Tumblr. Please get out of my face. Lived through Voltron shipping. Lived through fan. So like I reader insert, fan fiction, and RPF. Like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. I know this. I know these streets. I ran these streets. I'm actually still in the streets. I write my fan fiction from time to time, and no one will ever know my handle. But just know it's out there on AO3, and people be reading. People tune in. I can't even tell you what fandom it is because I don't want the block to be too hot. You know what I'm saying? Trying to explain fandom to me. It's fun, and it only actually has to make sense to me. Have fun. But there are cathedrals everywhere for people with the eyes to see them, and you're limiting yourself to two random white men. I mean, I would understand Langdon and Robbie more. And now with Evil Whitaker, I would explain y'all shipping Evil Whitaker with Whitaker. What is that nigga's name? Ogilvy? That's a fuck ass last name. Ogilvy. And fuck Ogilvy, I actually will not be talking about him. I'm not giving him the time of day. Evil Whitaker can go actually kick rocks. Have fun with that. He's one of the new pitlings and one of the new med students this season. And Whitaker is now kind of in charge of the flock of pitlings. It's Ogilvy and Joy. I can't get a read on Joy yet. Joy Kwan. Streets are saying she might just be into dermatology because she's just very beautiful and her skin is gorgeous. And she's just doing ER as part of her rotation and she's not really interested in it. But I would be so curious to get a little bit more about what her deal is. But her spinning around in that chair and be like, oh, I did nothing to save you, sir. Really funny. Really funny. And I do like her. And I am hypocritical, like Ogilvy hater, number one. Tis I. Joy Kwan enjoyer. I'm there. Whitaker is a cutie pie. I love that his nickname is Huckleberry. That man does not have a southern face, though. It's not giving, where did he say he's from? Nebraska? It's not giving that. It is giving Britain. It's giving Great Britain. It's something in the eyes. It's something in the eyes that very much so gives Great Britain. But I do love him. I think he's really sweet, and I think the actor does a great job with his characterization and his reactions. I am scared of what might happen with Louis for a few reasons. I'm bouncing back and forth between season 1 and season 2 as well, which is making this a little bit all over the place, but just follow me. Lock in. Y'all know the routine by now. Where was I going with that? Louis. Louis is a recurring patient. He comes often due to problems with his alcoholism and that's causing for him. And so I think the two people kind of at the hearth of his case that I'm thinking about is Whitaker and Langdon. Before I get to that, though, I wanted to go back about Whitaker in season 2 having to break it to a patient that her husband has died because she has dementia or Alzheimer's and she is not remembering it. And it reminded me of my grandmother who had Alzheimer's as well. And similarly, we'd have to be like, break the news to her about her having cancer over and over again, or her not being able to smoke because she's going to have to go to the doctor, her not being able to eat because she has to go to the doctor, and having to break that kind of news over and over again. It just goes to show how tenacious Whitaker has become over the 10 months between season 1 and season 2, and him being over the pitlings as well, the new pitlings, showing his growth. But I'm going back to Louis. Alcoholic patient comes in quite often for problems shrouding this. Langdon is returning for his first shift back after being dismissed for a discovered benzos addiction. I was thinking a lot about addiction and how Langdon's addiction is paralleled against Louis. Louis is a black man. He's an alcoholic. Langdon is a conventionally attractive, charismatic, higher profile, very smart, very intelligent, high performing, high functioning opioid addict. And thinking of the different ways in which society treats them, even with Langdon, quote unquote, getting the good side of things, he is still dogged out. I mean, Santos is like visibly shaken by him being back. And I'm wondering if she thinks there's going to be some kind of retaliation, there's going to be some kind of confrontation, but she really did the right thing by noticing that there was those irregularities with the benzos. And I need Langdon to apologize to her. But then there's also little scenes like Javadi and Whitaker acting really weird and strange to Langdon. And then he makes this joke. He said, I'm going to be with the drug addicts. I'm going to be with the drug addicts out in triage. And Javadi and Whitaker going like, ooh, that was awkward. Because there's this taboo that shrouds addicts, but people are also always talking down on them, saying how they're weak, and they don't recognize it as a disease and a mental illness and the environmental factors that lead to being an addict. And of course, again, what am I going to do? Related back to me and my experiences. My one and only uncle is an addict, has been, as far as I know, my entire life. Varying substances, as one does, ebbs and flows through life. Um, and I think about the ways that people talk about him. I feel lucky enough that since he lived with us for a while, I was able to know him in sobriety or assumed sobriety, I don't know, or a more functioning version of himself when he's not as far down the rabbit hole. And the admiration I grew for that version of him, for that the true him, the him that's underneath all of the disease parts of it. And so then when I would go to family gatherings and hear them talk about him in the way that they do, or some of the behaviors I consider to be enabling, it hurts my heart. And so seeing that portrayed on screen, even though in a little bit differently, in Langdon, in Louis, it kind of brought up a lot of those feelings. Langdon, especially because my uncle's very, very smart. He can fix anything. He can do mechanics, plumbing, electricity. He can build. He is very charismatic as well. And so to see those two sides of the coin has been very nice. And that's why I like Langdon, I think, more than some of the other Pitt fans might. And I have a lot more empathy for him. And I'm excited to see how he differs from season 1 to season 2, to see him sober, to see him clean, and how that might change his idiosyncrasies, because we came to know him as this very hyperactive, bouncing off the walls, eager to go from one case to the next guy in season 1. And already in just the first 2 seasons of season 2, he's a lot more mellow. And I think that's really, I don't want to say cool, but it's really interesting. And I'm excited to see more. I think Louis is going to die this season, and I want to see how that affects Langdon. You can't talk about Langdon without talking about Mel. I love the autistic representation. Not only her being autistic, but her sister being autistic as well, and seeing how they differ just in the few scenes that she had with Becca, the three scenes that she had about Becca, and how she talks about her sister Becca. Me and my twin sister are both neurodivergent, and we've always just had a different way of looking at the world, and we've been each other's solace. And oh my god, like that's I love this show. It reminds me of my own life in so many ways, and I think that's one of the magic things about a medical show. Between the patients, between the doctors, between the situations, there's an entry point for anyone to watch it, and I love that. I really love Mel. I think she's a perfect character. I have nothing bad to say. I have nothing to add on other than that's my autistic sister. Like, as soon as she got on the screen, I was like, this is home, this is family. This is family. It's me and that neurodivergent character against the world. Shane Hollander, Mel King. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was watching Breaking Bad season 1 for the first time when I was watching The Pitt, and I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like old dude from Breaking Dad. And from Breaking Dad, she looks like old dude from Breaking Dad. She looks like old dude from Breaking Bad because that's her father. Right. Who have I missed? Dr. Alashimi, I can't form an opinion on you, but you got to put the AI down. McKay is also an addict, but she's like 10 years sober, right? Or she's like 10 years sober. She's been sober for a hella long time. And she be walking around with an ankle monitor. Javati just kind of judgmental. We have to accept that. Like, she's young, but she's also judgmental. Young hoes don't judge. Before she got to know McKay, Javati was judging real bad. But I love McKay's storyline. I'm curious to see where the whole I need to get laid thing goes this season. um Fully justified in her feelings about her baby daddy's boyfriend, because why would you show up here with a shirt that says bonus mom? Get the fuck out of my face. Please don't do that. Like, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. And then I wrongly have this damn ankle monitor on and I'm helping through a mass casualty event and you gonna come and try to arrest me. Don't piss me the fuck off. I love McKay. I think she's a badass. I miss the red hair. I miss the ginger. Like, the brunette is fire, but the ginger was really doing it for me. Miss Bangs. I loved Fiona reading the tweets about Pitt fans shaving to get ready in case anything happens for the premiere night, and her not understanding that at all. And then Shabana in the comments being like, she has no idea what this means. She completely misinterpreted that. That is so funny. Because all of my timeline, the tweets about McKay and Fiona are just hungry lesbians. Hungry lesbians. Perla and Princess, love y'all bad. I would like to be on the Cheese May, please. On the Cheese May, please invite me to the Cheese May sessions. I think we'd have a great time together. Josie, you are so Josie. I thought she was gonna knock over the telephone, but she went under the couch instead. Did you see the fear go through my eyes? Right. And then I'm gonna talk about the only characters that really matter to me: Samir Mohan, Jack Abbott. Now, as I mentioned last week, I have been going through a Sean Hattasy psychosis, have been going through a Supriya psychosis. And so, as much as I love Mo Abbott together because of their dynamic, it is mostly fueled by the fact that I think both of them are hot together. And I read one fic about a competency kink. Right. Right. And I felt for the first time in forever, no Disney music here, I felt a third eye open in a manner that I hadn't felt since first discovering AO3, since first discovering Tumblr, where you get into a new tag and you're like, I didn't know this was a possibility. Competency. I'm thinking about the fic. And it's not even that it was grotesquely graphic or anything like that. It was very well written, very tasteful, very canon compliant for how I think Abbott and Moan would interact with one another outside of the hospital. But I learned something about myself that night. And I need someone who I can study for. Nope, I can't. Jack Abbott, my passive suicidal twin, right? Passive suicidal king. We first meet him and Robbie up on the roof in the beginning of season 1. And he's just getting off a night shift. He's like, damn, why the fuck do I keep doing this? Abbott and Robbie food. I like that. Like, I like an old man, Yowie. I just Huckleberry, he deserves somebody a little closer to his age, somebody with a youthful spirit. You know what I'm saying? And then Samir. My sunshine, my love. She goes and spares no effort to make sure all of her customers, all of her patients are well cared for and that they are showed the love and respect and dignity that they deserve. I loved how she advocated for that black woman with sickle cell. And I love how it's usually Moan that they depict medical racism through in her advocacy for black and brown people. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love how badass and smart she is and her being a senior resident now and looking for fellowships. And she's also dealing with some issues with her mother as well. And so the parallels between her and Javadi in that sense too, I'm very intrigued to see how that all plays out. But I really love the pit. We in the pit. I'll probably do some intermittent updates. I think I use that word correctly. It's like Rob on the Trader saying that's not what commiserate means. First time ever in my life I've found Rob from Love Island kind of attractive. I said, okay. Intermittent updates on the pit in the weeks coming. I recommend me getting HBO Max for $2.99 a month for a year is the best decision I've made in ages. Clack it. That's how my students say clack it. They say clack it, me's. My lovely babies. Any questions, comments, concerns? Right. Media of the week. My Moon, My Man by Feist. Take it slow, take it easy on me. Shed some light on me, please. He's the dirtiest clean I know. Oh, right. Auction by Destin Conrad. So Hall and Off coded. I freaking love that song. You got to listen to it. Bodyguard by Beyonce has been back on loop. I can't stop listening to it. It's so romantic and sweet and sexy. And I want like a black Western rom-com of them like on horseback. Like, I don't know, like Heated Rivalry would make it ranch, like hillbilly, like on horses, and they have to cultivate the land together. Like I yearn for like a black. Here's my thing. I want it to be a black woman, so maybe it has to be Yuri. If we're gonna make it gay, it can be Yuri, okay? But I mean, I think with when it's written correctly, you know, a little straight couple can't do too much harm. I'm letting Moab back into my life. That's one of my first straight ships in ages. What am I saying? Bodyguard, Beyonce. Sometimes I take a day off just to turn you on. Thank you, Josie, for visiting. Cowboy Carter is really the gift that keeps on giving. It gets better over time. I feel like my first listen, I was like, this is excellent. And it's only just gotten better and better and more important in my life as time goes by. Like Renaissance, I knew how important it was going to be to me on that first listen. I was like, this is generational. This is a special piece of media. Cowboy Carter took me a second to get to the place where Renaissance was in my heart. Bodyguard, Beyonce. Dark Circles by Ryan Beatty. I think forever's too long. Why does it make me feel loyal? I'll put your jacket on to make me feel more important. I just finished Beach Read by Emily Henry. Damn, that was good. I haven't read a romance novel like that. Like a true, like, run-of-the-mill boy meets girl. They fall in love. They get married by the end of the book. Like, love. Like, let's fall in love for the night and forget in the morning. By Phineas Head Ass, like love, like romance novel like that, rom-com novel. Very excellent, very excellent. The premise is two authors. Gus Everett, he writes dark, moody, angsty literary fiction. January Andrews writes romance, like cheesy, soft, mushy gushy romance. They're both experiencing writer's block and they end up staying in beach houses next to each other for respective reasons. And they bet one another to swap genres for the summer. Grumpy Sunshine. Emily Henry, you're making me believe in love again. And I did immediately start funny story right after finishing Beach Read. I watched People We Meet on Vacation, the movie, and so I will be going back to read that after I finish Funny Story. I'm putting off reading The Long Run because I just don't want my Hall & Off story to be over. Like I want to have the long run. I'm gonna try again. I'm putting off reading The Long Game because I want to have The Long Game and Unrivaled to be able to read back to back. So I'm reading a bunch of other stuff in between because I did read Heated Rivalry in its entirety. So after I finish Funny Story, I'm going to read People We Meet on Vacation. And then I'm probably just going to finish off Emily Henry's other books because I like her writing style and I love the woman that she has doing the audiobooks too. They're really great. Mm, my last media of the day is Grown Ass Fandom podcast. I did go back and listen after confirming that Shanae is still doing it. She kind of wrote some of the ancient texts of fangirling as a Black woman. She kind of was laying down some of the ancient texts, especially Josie. What if I just did it crooked for the rest of it? What if I just did it crooked for the rest? Hold on. I hope that was intelligible. I hope you had a good time. Follow me on social media. I don't be promoting that. My Instagram is kendallkendrix. My Twitter and TikTok is Souls Auntie. I need to change that eventually. I'm just gonna change it to my name eventually, but it just hasn't. It's just hasn't happened yet. It's just haven't happened yet. And remember to keep talking like no one is listening. I love you guys. Bye. That was terrible.